We just finished a meeting in Jerusalem in the Jewish Agency offices and about the Central Arava Fund, and I would like to ask a few questions. Why did you decide to join the Central Arava Fund?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge, both financial challenge. We think that we can make a nice profit, financial profit out of new type of investments of agro-technologies. And it's also a Zionistic challenge to develop the desert in Israel and to leverage on the wonderful experience of people from the Arava that showed a big success in agriculture.
I started off actually when I got approached on a Zionist basis. You know, I was told that there is a fund that will assist in developing high-tech at the Arava, and I thought it was a very worthwhile project. But as I got into the whole fund and met all of these friends that are sitting all around here, I realized that there was definitely a business angle to it, a serious business angle, as a matter of fact. And I think the combination of the Zionist approach, of going to areas that are not easy, such as, for instance, to take a car or a train and get to Herzliya is very simple, very easy, and it's easy to develop. It's much more difficult to develop the Arava. There's a greater challenge there. But I think when I looked at the Arava and looked at it, the agriculture is blooming and how they're exporting 55% of the agricultural products of Israel, I realized that the potential is enormous there. And I am convinced that we're going to make a big success out of this fund. And I've got no doubts that the population of the Arava are all going to join us because they can see the enormous benefits to their sons and daughters that are coming back after studying in the big cities and want to come back to the beautiful setup of the Arava.
So far, we have very good track record of the venture capital industry in Israel. And this is for the first time that the venture capital is joining with the agricultural research and the agricultural performance in Israel. And so we are very optimistic that joining the agricultural good track record with the venture capital good track record will yield some extra benefits we haven't seen until now.
What influence you think the Central Arava Fund can do on the development, the future development of the Arava?
First of all, to attract and to give a solution to youngsters, to the next generation, youngsters that are skilled people that come from universities and higher education, to give them the opportunity to develop new business, entrepreneurship in the field of high tech. And this will be the factors that will actually develop the Arava.
There's no, and just to follow on what Eliezer said, I think there's no doubts that this particular field of agro-technology is an enormous growing field, because if you look today, as we mentioned earlier in our discussions in this room, if you look today at what's happening in the world and the prospects of some of the production going to the production of energy rather than production of food and all what's involved with that, then you realize the importance of being able to get to technologies that are going to be able to produce you products that have got a longer shelf life, and that out of an acre you can perhaps produce more than what you're doing today. So if you look at that, I think we have just gone onto the right bandwagon at the right time, and if you use the Arava as the center of it, we might very well develop it as the next agro-high-tech center of Israel and the world that's going to be famous for some of its innovations.
If we look on our experience in Israel with the high-tech industry, what happened in that aspect, so one can draw some conclusion. In the Arava today, there are less than 3,000 people altogether. So I think it's a reasonable forecast that when these funds are established But within 5 to 10 years, we see the number of inhabitants more than 10,000 in the Arava. It's quite reasonable forecast.
How are you impressed with a professional team that has arisen around the Central Arava Fund?
I had a meeting with them a few days ago, and I can tell you I was very impressed. There are people who've got a wide experience in many different areas in Israel and also Australia, going back a number of years, but very, very competent people.
We are very, very lucky, actually, to have access to some excellent people. Eliezer Manor, the guy who will be managing the fund, has an enviable track record in venture capital here in Israel, was the founding Secretary General of the Israel Venture Capital Association, has run venture funds successfully. He has built around him a team of people that also have good experience. We've got an investment committee including top-class people, people like Izzy Tapuchi, Dov Mishor and others, and an advisory committee here, including Professor Ilan Chet, Jack Smorgan, and others. And I think that the structure is going to work enormously well for the benefit of the investors in the fund.
What potential do you see around the Arava Development Fund?
I think it can do wonders for this area. I mean, the whole area has been based on agriculture up until today, and maybe in the future agriculture will be a big part of what comes out of the fund. But I see an opportunity for other types of businesses coming from the work that's done with the fund, and hopefully that will really grow this area, grow in population, grow in strength, and I think it's going to do wonders for the whole area.
The fund has actually identified the niche of agricultural technology innovation and agricultural biotechnology innovation as its core area of competence and expertise, and I think that leveraging off the Arava's extremely good record in agricultural innovation, plus the R&D centre that's down here, offers us an opportunity to do something that will not only bring innovation and business opportunities here into the Arava, but will create opportunities that will be both beneficial to Israel and to the global community. And in particular, one of the core ideas is going to be looking at the area of biodiesel, working on how we can utilize waste agricultural materials and turn them into much in demand alternative energy sources and stuff like that. So I think that the fund has a lot of potential, and the link with the Arava is a very natural one, and I think it'll deliver excellent outcomes for the investors.
You know, if it's still on, we will just tell you that in a couple of years we're going to be coming down to Arava. We will be coming every time, but in a couple of years we're coming down to Arava. The next filming will be done there around a high-tech incubator center, which will be, I would say, one of the better ones, in the agrotech field in Israel.
By all means.
Thank you very much.
That's the vision.